Guten Tag, Jeter here. I have some unfortunate news for all of you. It turns out that the supposed alpha male guru claiming that you can become a rich alpha male gigachad by buying their $18,000 course might be lying to you. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this.
How fucking old are you? You got something to prove? Do you have something to prove? Prove what? Right? So you got something to prove? Yeah. So fucking prove it. Come on. Hey, we don't be last. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Hustle. Hustle. Come on. Hustle. Speed. Don't stop till you get speed. Don't be last. Don't be last. Come on. Come on. Don't be last. Don't be last.
Grown men are paying $18,000 to roleplay as tough army men. But how do the people selling this hogwash justify such an expensive price tag for what is essentially LARPing? Well, I wouldn't want to put words in their mouths, so let me just read their justification on why grown men should be spending the equivalent to 3 months' rent for an average size apartment in New York. The project is $18,000, but the cost of not experiencing the project and not becoming the leader, husband, and father you're meant to be is much more expensive in the long run. Holy shit, these guys are pretty shameless, but I think what's even more shameless is the fact that these guys are almost fully booked. In my opinion, if you think you have to spend $18,000 in order to become a good husband and or father, I think you just need to take a step back and come to terms with the fact that you might have been dropped on your head as a kid. But I am getting sidetracked here. I'll be honest, I really just couldn't care less about what these snake oil salesmen are peddling. But what I am interested in is the knowledge that these goobers claim to have access to. Because I believe that the reason why these alpha male gurus are able to succeed in selling their knowledge is because so many men are so lost and desperate for answers in life that they're willing to give what is essentially their life savings. And what is that secret that these men are desperate to learn? Well, that secret is the idea of how to be a real man. What do I mean by this? You see, although you can be born a male, that doesn't mean you're a real man. I think that men, in general, consider the idea of being a real man as some sort of ideal state of being. It's kind of like Buddhism. Except, instead of Gandhi, people look to Elon Musk and Andrew Tate for their spiritual guidance. But today, I thought it would be cool if I saved you guys the $18,000 and instead come up with my own theory on what makes a real man. So, if you're willing to listen to me yap for 10 minutes straight, let's get to philosophizing. Let's get this out of the way. As men, I think we have this sort of reverence for other men we consider physically strong. And I think that it is for this reason that why athletes have always been revered throughout history. When you think about the mental and physical discipline it takes to push your body to its limits day in and day out, you just can't help but admire them. In fact, Socrates has a quote that reinforces my belief in the idea that men just seem to be hardwired to have this admiration for strength. He says, "No man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable." Holy shit, this quote is hard as fuck. Socrates cooked. For me, I think this quote highlights that men throughout time have always admired the idea of pushing our body to its very limit. And I think that one of the reasons why physical strength is so admired is that it is a sign of discipline. Think about it. In order to get into shape, you need to discipline yourself into dedicating a large amount of time and effort in pursuit of a goal that just seems so far away. And by the way, having discipline doesn't just apply to your physical health. I think if you have the ability to exercise self-discipline in multiple aspects of your life, I truly believe that you are one step closer to being a real man. Don't get me wrong, I think you can be in great physical shape and not be a real man, as there are a lot of stupid people who are in great physical shape but are also living very terrible lives. So while having muscles isn't the be-all and end-all for a man, At bare minimum, I believe that men and human beings in general need to have the self-discipline to take care of themselves, as how can you accomplish your goals if you can't even take care of yourself? So I would have to say that self-discipline is needed to become a real man. Self-belief. Self-belief is a person's belief in their ability to complete tasks and to achieve their goal. Now, I want you to do something for me. Think about a goal you have. Now, do you think you have the ability to complete that goal? If you said yes, then you have self-belief. Real quick, before we move on, I also want to distinguish the key differences between delusion and self-belief, as these two are often lumped together when in reality these are two opposite concepts. While self-belief can be defined as a person's belief in their ability to achieve their goals, delusion can be defined as a false belief or judgment about the external reality held, despite evidence to the contrary. What this means is that delusion is essentially the absence of reality. A person can be considered delusional when they don't think about what is required to achieve a particular goal or task, yet they still think that they can do anything despite what the evidence is telling them. Self-belief is the opposite. A person has self-belief when they are able to objectively look at reality and are able to evaluate what it truly takes to achieve something great, and then they are able to have the faith in themselves to accomplish what is necessary. That to me is the key difference between delusion and self-belief. But let me give you a real-world example of self-belief put into action. Think about the Colonel. Colonel Sanders. All he had were 11 herbs and spices and some fried chicken. Yet despite his humble origins, he founded KFC, one of the most popular fast food chains in the world. And think about this, he was 40 years old when he opened his first restaurant. There are so many young people today, me included, who have this overall feeling of self-doubt. People today have this idea that life does not get any better and that we've already failed. In reality, that is false. Life is hard, but I would like to think that it's not impossible. I think that if you have an idea of what you truly want to do, you should do your best to honestly pursue that goal, regardless of the circumstances around you. Because I think that having the ability to believe in yourself is a sign of being a true man.
Love, I don't get enough of it.
Finally, what a man needs is the most cliche of them all. A real man needs love. I know this is a boring answer, but hear me out. I genuinely believe that having love is the key to having a happy and fulfilling life. And without love, we are no different from beasts. A lot of times when you have these alpha male gurus, they claim that showing emotion is a weakness and that it is one of the worst things a man can do. But I like to disagree. I genuinely believe that people become crazy when they are not able to honestly share their feelings with other people. This is just me, but I truly believe that when you have these tight friendships where you truly care for one another, you become a better person. These friendships, in my opinion, are very rare and few between, but in my personal experience, having these relationships will genuinely improve your overall life, even if it's not immediately obvious. In my opinion, if a man is not able to love others, I don't think they will ever become a real man, no matter what they do. Finally, I want to add that I myself am very far from my definition of what a real man is. I hope that how I live my life day by day can get me to the places where I want to go. I also want to add that all the things I've said about being a real man can apply to anyone regardless of their gender, as anyone can become a real human. Now, if you like the things I've said in this video and want even more words of wisdom, then you're in luck, as I have a totally legit, honest, 1-week self-help course for the low price of $17,999. PayPal link in the description below. Thanks for watching and have a good day.